This video is intended as guidance for gas fitters installing the log set into Rinnai's 1000 linear gas fire. A lot of the problems reported to us are the result of incorrect media installation, so it is important to follow these steps carefully. This demonstration has been done using a single-sided fire, but the process for the double-sided fire is the same as long as the media is installed from the front of the fire with the pilot to the back of the burner. Before starting the installation, carefully unpack the entire log set. Inspect each part for damage and lay them out as shown in the installation guide. Use the guide and the one-page sheet fixed to the fire for further guidance. This demonstration has been done using an LPG fire, and the flames will behave differently when using natural gas, but the principles are the same. It is important to note that the New Zealand LPG burner differs from the natural gas burner, and this is indicated by a U stamped in the left-hand end of the LPG burner. There are 4 log location points on the burner surrounds. These need to be folded up before proceeding any further. Place a thin layer of vermiculite across the entire burner bed. Don't pour the vermiculite out. There will be dust that has settled in the bag, and this can block the burner ports and cause cross-lighting and performance issues with the fire. Try to avoid putting excessive vermiculite over the burner points. This first layer should use less than a third of the vermiculite. Make sure that the burner ports in front of the pilot and main burner flame rod are not covered. Start the fire and make sure that the flames track across the entire burner bed. Move the vermiculite around as required. You may need to use the remote control or control panel to keep the fire on high. Take the first log and carefully lay it over the burner using the location tab behind the pilot and the tab on the burner surround. Notice how the log sits in front of the location tab. Make sure that there is a clear path in the vermiculite where the log crosses the burner. The twigs and logs all have a charred section on them, and when correctly installed, the charring is always facing down. Take the second log and install it using the tabs as a location guide. Note how the vermiculite has been cleared away from the left-hand end of the log. Continue fitting the 3 smaller twigs using the installation sheet as a guide. Light the burner and check for complete cross-lighting. Force the fire into high burner mode using either the remote control or the front control panel. Adjust the vermiculite as required. It may be necessary to clean out some of the bigger burner ports, but sometimes a large piece of vermiculite can help with cross-lighting or diffusing a flame. Make sure that there is minimal impingement on any of the logs or twigs and adjust if necessary. This is especially important for LPG or propane fires. If the flames look to be leaning back too much, try briefly fitting the glass front and see what it will look like under normal operation. Don't worry if the flames look a bit dull at this stage. When the wire wool is installed, the flames will improve. You can now place the remaining vermiculite on the burner surrounds. This is a decorative aspect of the installation and can be adjusted to the customer's wants. If they only want vermiculite on the burner, that's okay. And similarly, if they want vermiculite spread across the entire panel, that's okay too. Do not place more vermiculite on the burner itself, and take care not to block the gap between the burner and the front and back surrounds. This gap is required for secondary air to get to the burner. Place the stones as per the instruction sheet. Again, these are decorative and are not necessary if the customer doesn't want them used. We recommend using them to camouflage the places where the log location tabs are visible. Take care not to directly block any of the burner ports. If you are setting up a double-sided fire, make sure it looks good from both sides. Start the fire again and make sure that the burner lights completely. Force the fire into high burner mode using either the remote control or the front control panel. Adjust the stones and vermiculite as required. Take the wire wool out and tease it into thin strands. There is nothing to be gained by having a thick rope of wire wool. Most installations will use less than a third of the wool supplied. The remainder of the wool can be left with the customer or held onto to be used as replacement when the fire is serviced. The wool is used to enhance the flame, but if the customer doesn't like it, it doesn't have to be installed. Place thin strands of wool over the flames to make them brighter and more vibrant. There is no effect in having wool where there is no flame, and having too much wool can make the flames look too yellow and streaky and will look odd when the fire is off. Be very careful to avoid getting wire wool anywhere near the flame rods. If you find that the fire is cutting out, there is a good chance that it is a strand of wool shorting out one of the flame rods. If there is a loss of flame or a short circuit on either the pilot or main burner flame rod for more than 5 seconds, the fire will shut down. Once you're happy with the way the flame bed looks, replace the glass and start the fire. Make sure that you are getting good cross lighting and that there is no impingement or long streaky flames that might cause sooting. It is important to leave the fire running for at least 10 minutes to get a good idea of how yellow the flames might get and if there are any patches of major impingement on any of the logs. These need to be fixed to prevent soot appearing on the logs, especially with LPG and propane installations. The media installation is now completed.